Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show. Sarah McMillan is on the line with me, the president of Gawler and District Softball, to update us on the latest in the league. Thanks for joining me again, Sarah. How are you?
I'm good. Weather's heating up for the weekend.
It is. It's a good time of year to be playing outdoor sport, isn't it?
It is. It's starting to feel like summer again.
Yes, we're getting there. We are rapidly getting there. Well, let's get into the action from the weekend just gone and have a little look ahead to tomorrow's action as well. And we'll start off in the under-14s. It was a good win for the Giants last weekend over Trinity, 11-3. How was this game, Sarah?
Yeah, it was a good game to watch. It was very interesting to watch the young guys play because it was very much a learning game this week. The Giants are on the upper age bracket, and so they're a little bit more experienced than Trinity, and Trinity have a lot of new players who have never played before, and to see both teams out there in full team spirit just having a great game of softball. Yes, Giants beat them, and they beat them by a fair amount, but they got Trinity got runs in, and it was good to see them.
All right, good stuff. So weekend got off to a good start with that one, obviously. And let's look ahead to this weekend's under-14s action. The Giants are in action again. Trinity are not. Giants taking on the Kangas.
Yes, this should be another tight game, I think, with both teams more experienced this week. So I think it's the second game they've played against each other. So we'll start to see who is dominating in the under-14s.
Okay, we're figuring out who the powerhouse teams in the under-14s are, but of course everyone is having a good time and enjoying themselves. So that's the main thing in the under-14s at that age group. And it's a similar story in the under-17s, certainly getting a bit more competitive, but it was a forfeit in the under-17s on the weekend, so no game on the weekend just gone, but they are back in action this week, and it's the Kangas taking on the Giants, same matchup that we're seeing in the under-14s.
Yeah, this week's under-17s will be similar in the way of the under-14s. They're both very similar calibre, but under-17s, they're practically adults now, and there's a lot of strength behind both sides, so it'll be a good game to watch.
Certainly is a big jump between those two age groups, but looking forward to seeing how that game goes and who can come out on top. Let's look to the seniors now, and we got both our games in the Div 2s on the weekend. So we'll start with the Blue Jays' good win. They beat the Vikings 6-3, a nice, reasonably low scoring for what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, but a nice tight match here.
Yes, there was some good batting to get people out in the field, but then there was also some tight fielding, just they couldn't get them home. So, yeah, on both sides, none of them really stood out, but yeah, just a good steady pace and just not allowing those runs to come in at the end of it. All
right, and in our other Div 2 game, it was a bit of a different story. The Giants with a big win over Two Wells, 14-2, so they've done very well to put 14 runs on the board.
Yes, they did do some good running and also good batting to get up there high on the runs. The Two Wells score doesn't really reflect on how well they did. They did some good fielding and some good batting, but yeah, their bats sent a hit straight to the fielders, which was a little bit more disappointing than the other side getting out into the green.
Well, it's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? You can play well, but sometimes the scoreboard just doesn't reflect that.
Yes, and today you got to just go with the score.
That's right. That is right. Well, that was the Div 2 results from the round just gone. So let's look ahead to this weekend's Div 2 action. Two Wells taking on the Kangas this weekend. So the Kangas coming fresh off the bye. Two Wells looking to improve a little bit on that 12-run loss that they had on the weekend just gone. But like you said, they probably played a bit better than the scoreboard reflected. So hopefully they can get a few more runs on the board against the Kangas.
Yes, hopefully they see a bit more of the grass rather than the fielder's glove. And I think it'll be a much tighter game this week. It could be good to see them all out there. I haven't seen the Kangas Div 2 play as yet, but I'm going to be out there this weekend to watch them because I'm very interested in how this game's going to go.
All right, and in the other game, the Giants take on the Vikings. So the Vikings off that close loss against the Blue Jays and the Giants off that big win over Two Wells.
Yes, this could be interesting, the way that Vikings come off a big win the other week and dropped right back. But this time it's in the other hands. Giants, they are looking very strong, and Vikings are looking strong as well. Oh, it's a tough call between those two, and yeah, it should be a good game to watch as well.
All right, so that is the state of play in Div 2. The Blue Jays are on the bye this weekend. And let's look ahead to the Div 1s. And it was just the one game on the weekend in Div 1, and that was the Blue Jays getting the win over the Vikings 7-5. A nice tight game there and reasonably high scoring as well. So it looks like that was a thriller.
Yes, it was a very tight game and some great hitting. Jasmine from Vikings and also Nat Wick got some good hits out there, but they didn't quite compete with Emma Young hitting 2 home runs on her own, and Stacey McKenzie's placement of the ball was, it just sort of took me back a little bit. It was very worth watching.
All right, very good.
That's not really a word, but very worth watching.
Well, two home runs on her own. That is a sensational effort. And no, I assume no one's hit the hat trick of home runs just yet.
No, not as yet. It's tight to get the hat trick in, but especially in the one game, because it's tight to get 3 innings or 3 of your own batting in the innings. So. Yeah, if that happens, that'll be a well worth celebration.
All right, well, you'll certainly let us know if and when that does happen, when someone hits 3 homers in one game. But for now, 2 is the score to beat. So that was a good win by the Blue Jays on the weekend in Div 1 action. 2 more games this weekend as well. So the Blue Jays are in action again, coming off that win. They'll be taking on the Kangas. Yes,
I'd like to see how this goes. Kangas still have a couple of injuries but they still play very strong. They're a very tight-knit team, and actually, so are Blue Jays. After winning the premiership last year, they've just got stronger and stronger team-wise. So, that should be a good game, and I'm looking forward to watching that one as well.
One more game for us to go through, and it's 2 Wells taking on the Vikings. So a close loss for the Vikings last week, but they'll look for revenge this week against 2 Wells.
Yes, and last time we 2 Wells played Vikings, we had a lot tighter game than some of the others were taking on, and we hope to sort of up our score a little bit, and maybe we should overtake them this week just to get a win on the board.
All right, so that is the action that was last week and the action that lies ahead this weekend. Sarah, now that we're a few weeks in, would you say there's anyone separating themselves from the pack in Div 1? Is there a team to beat just yet, or do you think it's a bit too early to tell?
Oh, very early. I thought Vikings might be the team to beat, but I think Blue Jays are holding their ground with their premierships on. So, yes, I think Blue Jays in Div 1 are, I think, the team to beat. And everybody, I think, is a close second in there. I thought they were much more separated, but it feels that as the weeks go on, we're all sort of right up there, but Blue Jays are the team to beat.
All right, we'll keep monitoring that as the weeks keep rolling on. The season is well and truly underway now. We're a few weeks in and we're starting to learn who the contenders are and who the other teams trying to keep up with the contenders are. Sarah, before we let you go, is there any other news around the league that we should be aware of?
Out at Carbeeson, Baseball have got their first home ground on their new diamonds. So they've got 4 home games out there on Saturday. So it'd be good to see them back out there with us.
All right, plenty going on in the Gawler and District Softball League. Good news to have the baseball back as well. Sarah, thank you for checking in with those scores and results once again. We'll do it again next week. Enjoy all the action this weekend.
Yes, thanks for having me.